I can't, it was just like drastic, like oh my god, like I cannot believe, you know, I'm going through this right now. Like, of course it's the hormones that make you feel somewhat how you feel throughout your pregnancy. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. As you can already tell by the title, I'm going to be talking about pregnancy depression. I personally didn't really deal with postpartum depression. I only dealt with pregnancy depression, but I know women who did deal with postpartum depression and, you know, told me the symptoms and all of that. So I'm gonna speak on both, but first I want to just speak on my personal experience with pregnancy depression, being pregnant, being depressed while pregnant. I honestly want to say it started in the beginning of my pregnancy. Well, once I started getting morning sickness. Not only was I feeling sick, like, I don't want to say the sickness caused me to be depressed, but my eye is jumping, but if you want to put it like that, then you can. But honestly, when I had my morning sickness, I didn't want to speak to nobody. I did not want to do nothing. I didn't want to get out of bed. I was just always down, and I didn't understand, you know, why. I mean, of course, realistically, I understood why I was going through what I was going through, but in the midst of it, I'm like, you know, why me? Like, why do I have to go through this? Why am I going through this? Like, this is such a horrible feeling. And, you know, I was crying every day with morning sickness. From when I woke up to when I went to bed is all day. And if you don't know how morning sickness feels, it honestly feels like a terrible hangover. That's the best way I could describe it. I was only hungover 2 times in my entire life. Never want to do it again. Never will do it again. Hungover, like being drunk and hungover, is a bad feeling. So imagine how it feels being pregnant and feeling like that throughout the whole day, but not just feeling like that, feeling 10 times worse than a regular drunk hangover. So it started from there. I was like, just, you know, crying every day. You know, it really brought my emotions down. Like, I was always down. I was always sad. I was always crying. You know, it started from there. Then it faded away once I started feeling good. I started feeling good around 20 weeks. I started feeling sick at six weeks. Then at 20 weeks, excuse me if you hear baby K in the background, he's trying to poop. Then at 20 weeks, I started, you know, going out. Like, leading up to like 22 weeks, I was feeling great. But I started getting up, I started going out, I started going to the gym, I started taking walks, I started, you know, wanting to do stuff. I started wanting to, you know, buy clothes, to take pictures, just so I could have, I'm gonna insert some pregnancy pictures too, because y'all have not seen my pregnancy journey. I should do a little slideshow or whatever, but if anything, I'm gonna edit them here. But, you know, these were just some of the pictures that I took, you know, just to show, like, I'm enjoying my pregnancy. But some of the pictures, I probably insert pictures when I started to blow. Okay, so when I started to blow, but honestly, I was taking regular pictures just to see my, you know, my growth, how my belly is growing every 2 weeks or so. I would take daily pictures too, but once my sickness was over, I was all and ready to take pictures. But when my depression really started was when I started to really show, and I don't want to put it like this, but basically my fiance started going out. Well, he was always going out, like, you know, men, they want to go out and enjoy themselves. But I didn't mind him going out. It was the simple fact that he was able to go out and I wasn't. So I was always in the house. I couldn't go out. I couldn't go for a drink. I couldn't go smoke my hookah. I can't do none of that. So other women don't want to really talk about it, but I'm gonna talk about it because I really honestly, like at this point I don't care. Like I'm over it, you know. It happened, but us pregnant women, we get jealous, and men fail to realize that. Us pregnant women really go through phases and emotions where we really just start to not like our significant other, but we really just look at them like, you could just do whatever the hell you want and I gotta stay home, you know. That's not what caused it, but that's, you know, how it honestly started. It started from there. Not saying that I didn't want my fiance to go out, because that wasn't the case. It was just the fact that he was able to go out and do him, and do him as in go out and have fun, and I really just couldn't do much. So it was kind of like annoying in a sense. Like I really, you know, was jealous at that time. Like I was jealous, and I really was not happy about that. Like I really was just mad because, you know, I'm the pregnant one walking around wobbling, and you know, I go out, people gonna know, you know, you got a baby on the way. He could go out, drink, have fun, come back home. Ain't nobody gonna know he got a baby on the way. But not saying that he was going out cheating, because I don't want nobody to put this, you know, take this a different way, because he wasn't going out cheating. He was just going out, getting drinks, and doing regular young adult stuff. So that's what triggered it. But it was times where I would start to feel alone, and I wasn't alone. Like I would be around my fiance, I would be around my mom, and I would just feel alone. I would just feel really lonely, and I didn't understand why. So I would start to tear, but then it would go away. Like I would start like tearing in front of them, like, you know, we would be having such a good time, and I would just start tearing in front of them because I would just be thinking about so much. Like, dang, like, I don't know why I feel like this. Like, I just feel alone. And if you don't know, those are one of the symptoms, is feeling alone and you're actually not. And even at nighttime when I really was alone, it would hit me harder. Like, you know, I wouldn't be able to think straight. I would just, so much would be going in my mind, going through my mind, and honestly would just start crying. I would start, you know, asking God, like, you know, why am I feeling like this? Like, this isn't a great feeling. Like, I don't like this. And, you know, thinking about it is getting me a little teary-eyed because, you know, I hid this from my fiance, I hid this from my mom, and I didn't come out, and I didn't, you know, really tell anybody till the end of my pregnancy, which was probably the last month or probably 2-3 weeks of my pregnancy. Honestly, I felt like I dealt with it great because I hid it, even though it's not good. So if you are going through this, do not hide it, you know, express yourself, because when you express yourself, like I would express myself to my best friend a lot, you know, and it would help me. She would cheer me up, and it helped. It honestly helps. Like I would tell my mom sometimes too. Those are the only two people that, you know, I really wanted to express myself to. I didn't really want to express myself to my fiance because I didn't want him to feel like he was doing a bad job. And sometimes, you know, I'm not even gonna lie or sugarcoat anything, I would get mad at him and I would throw stuff in his face like, you going out all the time and I gotta stay, you know, doing all of that. But even though I was doing all of that, all I had to do was sit him down and talk to him and tell him like how I really felt, and you know, why I'm feeling like this, and you know, all the emotions that's going on. But that's like, I really held it in. Like it took me a lot to even tell my mom, it took me a lot to tell my best friend. And you know, once I finally did bring it out, it was like that was the only thing I could think of. Like I've been depressed half of my pregnancy and nobody really knew, you know, nobody really asked me like, am I okay, how am I doing? Like nobody really you know, people will ask that, but they don't really mean it when they ask. Like, you know, especially people that you don't really talk to like that. Like, people would just ask just to, you know, look sympathetic about it. But loneliness, like I said, was one of the feelings, one of the symptoms that I dealt with. Crying nonstop. Like, it would be times when I would sleep next to my fiance, and you know, we would be chilling. We'll probably be watching a movie, he'll fall asleep, and I'll be up. Sometimes I wouldn't even be able to go to sleep, or if I did go to sleep, I would wake up in the middle of the night. I would wake up like 2 times a night, and I would just be sitting there, and I would just be like sad, like just like thinking. And then I would, on top of me feeling sad, I would think of stuff to make me even feel more sad. And it was just like, why? So experiencing that wasn't, you know, it wasn't it was a roller coaster, I could say. But through it all, I try to hide it, or I try to hide every feeling, every non-happy feeling that I got, just to prove, or just to make sure, like, when I do go back and I, you know, really go back and look at memories, that I could be like, look at me when I was pregnant, I was looking cute. And I would look at other pregnant moms too, and their pictures, and they look so happy, and you know, they got a nice outfit on. And I wanted to be the mom with cute pictures with her bump and all of that, and I just wanted to make sure I had cute pictures to look back on when I was pregnant. So that was my main goal. Y'all can even ask my fiance till now. I used to bug him, like, I want to go out and take pictures. I need to take pictures. I used to make him and my mom take 100 pictures of me, because I wanted that perfect picture so I could post. So that was one thing I can honestly say, you know, that I did a good job on, was getting a couple. I didn't get a lot, but I got a few pictures that I really could look back on and be like, dang, you look cute, pregnant girl. So yeah, that was my main focus, was really trying to not think about being depressed, or not go into my zone, or, you know, not going into that feeling of being depressed. I will always think of other things to do, like I'll be on the go. And I think there's like 7, 8 symptoms of, I'm gonna put them right here. There's one, let me get my phone. Yeah, there's 8 symptoms that I know for a fact. I know some of them I personally had a problem with, or I felt I had the symptoms. One of them was having trouble sleeping. His definition, just pause because I'm not about to read the whole thing. 2 was loss of interest in favorite activities. I felt that in some sort of way, but I didn't really have no activities I did, but sometimes I just gave up and like didn't want to do anything. And that was just me being tired though, so I can't even say that. So increase of energy is number 3. And increase in energy, the definition they have here is not what I felt. But when I say I had an increase in energy, some days I would like get up and want to clean, I would want to fix stuff, I would want to get things done just to get my mind off of certain things. So that's what I personally mean with increased energy. I never felt like killing myself. I never like had something as drastic as that. I never thought about killing. That's all I want to say too, that my depression was not severe. Some people's are more severe where it gets to wanting to kill yourself, but mine wasn't personally severe. It was, you know, more on the mild side. So I didn't ever think about killing myself during my pregnancy, so don't get that in your head. But changing appetite, I didn't really feel much of changing appetite. But 5, feeling or seeming on edge, I felt like that. Expressions of guilt, me, I felt guilty, like, you know, why and like, what am I doing wrong? I used to blame myself, like, why am I feeling like this? Did I do something wrong? Stuff like that. Unexplained physical symptoms. Like I said, sometimes I wouldn't even understand, or I can't explain how I felt, because it's just, you have to really be in that position or that predicament to understand what I'm going through. So that's what my definition of unexplained emotions symptoms could be. And the 8 is an emerging dark side, a person who's severely affected. Okay, I didn't have that. Number 8, that wasn't me. But yeah, those are some of the symptoms that I had during my pregnancy, and especially the end of my pregnancy. I feel like nobody was understanding me, and even with my fiance, like, most of the time he would, you know, sit down and be like, you know, he would cheer me up. He'll let me know, like, you know, sorry, I didn't, you know, understand, but now I understand. So I always felt that, though. Even when he did do that, I always felt like I wasn't understood. Like, even after he told me I understand, I still felt like he did not understand me. So it was just a lot, y'all. I'm an emotional person, so I took everything to heart. I got more emotional during my pregnancy. Of course, it's the hormones that make you feel somewhat how you feel throughout your pregnancy, crying, emotional and stuff. But it wasn't just a once in a blue moon or once a week, or, you know, it was periodically. I want to say almost every day to every other day that I was crying. And it wouldn't be because I was sad about something. It would be literally, I would just be sitting there and I'll just start crying and not really understanding why I was crying. And then sometimes I would cry when something happened, like I had a reason to cry, and it would hit me like, yo, I can't. It was just like drastic, like, oh my god, like, I cannot believe, you know, I'm going through this right now. Like, it was so drastic. Like, I was crying, I'm like, and I will always keep it to myself. Remind y'all, I always kept it to myself, no matter what. Until the end of my pregnancy, I finally, you know, started opening up to it. I told my mom, told my best friend, and, you know, they would listen. All I honestly want from, you know, my mom or my best friend is for them to listen. You know, my best friend, my mom, they always give me advice and stuff like that. So even if they have advice to give me, I'll take it. But the good thing of having a best friend and a mother that is your best friend is for them to be there by any cost. Like, no matter what it is that I was going through, you know, they were both there to listen. That is that. But other than that, those are really my personal experience. Yeah, so this video was kind of all over the place, but I just wanted to give y'all a little brief knowledge on my personal experience. And if you're going through it, please reach out to somebody. You know, just vent if you want to. It don't have to be severe. It could be mild, like my case. You know, just speak to somebody, let people know, because it can get worse. Like, it can get worse over time, especially the fact that I held mine in. It could have gotten worse, but it didn't, which I am blessed and thankful for. You know, overall, everything, my pregnancy, my safe delivery, my healthy baby, blessed. I'm about to go get him. I'm blessed by all means. But without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.